Word to this computer. All right. Welcome everyone to this month's ELD check-in. Today we have a special guest, or some special guests. As always, our same community agreements. We're going to stay engaged and trust in the good intentions. Feel free to speak your truth. Expect a little bit of discomfort if you disagree. That's okay. We're bringing our own identities and we're accepting a lack of closure, but we'll do our best. And I added a quote down here at the bottom that in case no one told you today, you are a great teacher. And I truly believe that. Oh, all of you. Our Missouri commitments to English learner success from our blueprint found on the web page. The link is at the bottom. We're going to cover pretty much all of them today. So if you haven't yet, here is the link to our hub. So you can find April and then find the note taker and sign in and let me know who's here today. You also will have the link to all of the slides and the notes. As I said, we have a guest speaker, a couple of guest speakers. Haydee Taylor-Arnold is going to be speaking to us, and then we'll have some updates. And I'm going to start out by asking a question. This question says, one linguistic challenge that English as a second language or language of speakers of other languages face is what? What's something, a challenge that they face, a linguistic challenge that they face? If you'll put that in the chat. We're going to kind of use that here in a little bit. For English learners and languages other than English. Oh, that's a good one, Haydee. False cognates, definitely. And again, pronunciation, that's another great one. Vocabulary, silent letters, definitely. Multiple meaning words, yes. Grammatical structures are a huge challenge, and passive voice, yes. Idioms, exactly. Cultural differences, homophones, yes. Those are all great answers. We're going to kind of talk a little bit about how those are the same. Maybe Haydee can talk a little bit about that. Word order, verb tenses, those are great ones too. So I'm going to let Haydee take over and share her screen. And Haydee is the FLAM president. If you don't know what that is, Foreign Language Association of Missouri. And Astrid is here to help her, and she's the former president. Haydee is a Spanish teacher, character ed advocate, and an active advocacy and outreach committee member. So I am going to let you take over with your screen, and I'm going to stop sharing, Haydee.
Okay, let me see. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
I lose everybody. So good afternoon, all of you. I am very, very excited to be here. This is just an honor to have this opportunity just to share the work that the Foreign Language Association of Missouri is doing in our state. And my name is Haydee Taylor-Arnold, and I am a Spanish teacher at Ladue Horton Watkins and also the FLAM president. The idea of this session is to have a conversation of the things that we're doing as world language teachers in collaboration with ELD teachers, and to find out what other ways we can continue collaborating. So let me see here. So for the agenda today, I want to share with you who is FLAM. I am very honored to have also 3 members of our association here with us today. Also, we will talk about the collaboration with ELD teachers. I have a moment to work with breakout rooms in order to brainstorm some ideas for future collaboration or expanding some of the ideas that we already have that we're using in our different districts. We will do a brief debrief, and then I will make an invitation to you to collaborate, to continue this collaboration and share with you a list of resources. So who we are. So the Foreign Language Association is just a statewide professional association and advocacy group that represents all language instructors in the state of Missouri. I am just going, I will have to move probably my tab here. Just very briefly, I am honored to be working alongside my past president, Dr. Tonya Tinsley. She is here today. And Jeff Lugari, who is also, he's the president-elect, and he's also collaborating with the Show Me Multiliteracy project. And we have here a link that's for future reference. You want to know more about us, of the FLAM board. That's our website. So our vision in FLAM is to endeavors to expand the knowledge of languages and their cultures to all and advocate for a more global, multilingual, and interconnected society. And those are the things that feel free to write in the chat if you have questions and you start seeing those connections that we already have. For example, we're talking about languages and cultures, and the keywords that we have here, multilingual, interconnected, and global, because those are the things that we are really working right now with our students, with their cultures, with their heritage, how we can find that common ground and work together, because we're here to support them. So our mission, we have these 3 points in our mission in our association. And the first one is to foster an inclusive world languages professional learning community, which ELD teachers are part of, with the common goal of achieving high standards for communicative proficiency, promoting cross-cultural understanding, and cultivating mutual respect. And again, we're talking about the whole child, right? And then when we see our students in our classrooms, because I also have heritage speakers, I have learning, students who are learning Spanish as a second language. And on your side, you have students who their native language is different from English, and then you are guiding them. So, but we want that interculturality, we want that mutual respect. The second one, to inform the members on best practices and current issues in the field, that they may continually advance as accomplished educators, which is one of the things we're doing here. We're finding that connection because we would love to have you share your expertise with us. And the other one is to advocate for world languages. And also, I know you're advocating for the English language programs, heritage speaker programs, by reaching out to communities, administrators, and government officials. And again, the goal is to reach the whole child and provide global opportunities, right? So they have a whole education, especially a language education. So the collaboration with ELD teachers, want to share with you some of the work that is ongoing right now. And I want to highlight the following. The first one is the Heritage Learners Program that is happening in the Liberty School District. And today I invited Astrid Reese. She is the Seal of Literacy coordinator and also Spanish teacher there, who is working very closely with the ELD coordinator there. And they have this wonderful program. So we will talk also about the Seal of Literacy. We currently have 102 school districts that are offering the seal. And we would love to hear more about the Pathways to Biliteracy Awards. I am bringing the conversation here. I am not sure if here in Missouri we have some schools who already are implementing that at the elementary level, but that would be wonderful to hear about that. And the other point is to support communities. Talking about early language learning, which is so important. We're talking about immersion, language immersion, or bilingual education. And also we have the information about English of other languages for parents, and other activities that probably you already are doing in your schools, and then you can continue providing more feedback of what is happening. Some of those, passport nights, international weeks, and others. So to start talking about the Heritage Speaker programs, I would like to share this video with you. I really love it, and I hope that you love it too.
Ustedes tengan algo más fácil que hacer. Like something that really sticks to me that Miss Reese says is to push to be somebody and to push to be a voice for those who don't have a voice in this country.
No, ella es la que vas a hablar de eso. Pues, we implemented the Heritage Speaker class, I believe was in 2015 or so. It's about 5 years or 6 years old. And it was implemented because we saw the need of a heritage class.
Being in Spanish Heritage, you have a community to speak Spanish with. Because if you're with, most of the time at school, we are surrounded by, people that don't speak Spanish, so we don't necessarily have the motive or reason to speak Spanish.
¿Lo vas a hacer aquí? Sí. Muy bien. Ahora lo que... well, what is a heritage speaking person? Is somebody who has the language from the heritage. But we need to make that distinction. A native speaker is somebody who has born in the country and has gone to school in that country, like myself. So I speak the language and I have studied the language in another country. The heritage speakers are students who are born in the United States and they speak the language because of their parents.
Hi, my name is Arlette Varela and I am a sophomore at Liberty High School. Learning to speak like the grammar wise, at home, you know how to speak it, but you also like learn home terms, like maybe a little bit of slang or like little words that come back from our home country. Maybe they're not even words in the actual, Spanish speaking language.
Hi, my name is Valeria Navarrete and I am a junior at Liberty High School. Just being there with the other classmates, like I said, it feels welcoming. It's a very comfortable space. It makes me feel like we have a lot in common, and many of us do, actually. Even though we come from different speaking countries, like for example, I'm from Mexico, and we have a lot of students from like different parts, Peru, Venezuela, Cuba, and so like it's like all different. It just makes you feel like you're like a whole family, just coming together.
Sí, una pequeña. It is important because these students have been translators since they are little. They have translated for their parents if needed, and they don't understand that they do have that skill that they can use in the future. Communication is what we need, and miscommunication is always what happens when somebody doesn't understand completely the language. My students have the ability of two worlds because they have been in the United States for the entire life and they understand that culture. And then they have the culture of their parents and they understand that culture. ¿Qué estamos escribiendo? Déjame leer. Muy bien, entonces ahora ¿qué vamos a hacer?
My passion in this class is to collaborate with everyone. And I love talking to other people, and not only do we bond in the classroom, but we also bond outside of the classroom, where maybe we throw house parties or little big parties. We all try to include each other, and it's such a strong bond that we treat one another as brothers and sisters, and as a big family we just love that.
I guess just being able to speak the language to other people and showing other people what the language is and the culture as well. So yeah, letting them know more about it.
The communities that we have is very strong. They found a place to belong and to share their traditions, their culture. We had students from Spain, from Chile, Peru. I do have one from Peru, Honduras, and Mexico. From Mexico is our biggest population, and then I am from Guatemala. So we share with each other, and sometimes we ask, how do you say this in Mexico? And then we learn from each other. So our community is very strong here. Ustedes tengan algo más fácil que hacer.
So I want to say that I really love this video because it's one of the things that we do as language teachers is create that space of belonging. And that's one of the things that we really want to do. I am excited that this is happening in the Liberty Public Schools. And I know that with the conversation that we're going to have, we will learn about other programs that are supporting our heritage speakers. I know the majority could be Spanish, but we know that our students come from different countries and they have different backgrounds. So another thing that I really love that Astrid and Krista created and Liberty Public School District is this webpage. I don't know if probably you are already doing that also in your schools, but I really love this page because it's a kind of a celebration of the different backgrounds that are represented in the school, and that really creates a sense of belonging. One of the things is that it gives an opportunity for teachers and parents and students to talk about themselves. In a short video, they share about themselves. And then, for example, if I click here on India, I'm going to hear about the student from India.
Hi guys, I'm from India. My name is Via and I'll be happy to show a festival that I really like. This festival is after a god. I want to show this to you because this god has made this festival for us Indians. So I want to show it to you. This is the God that made it. I know it's a bit weird. It's the one that made it. And this festival goes on for 9 days. There on the first day, we have this God that we circle around while we're dancing. And there's a certain clothes that we have to wear. And on the last day, we have to stay up until 7 in the afternoon to 10 in the morning. This festival is my favorite because we get to meet up with friends and we get to have some fun. And this festival we still celebrate. In this festival, us Indians that are in this country, United States, we all gather up and go somewhere different to celebrate this festival. This festival is very important, and this festival is in August. This festival is in August 19, and I hope you learn a lot from it. I would love to show you some more photos, but I don't have clearly any. So bye bye.
So again, it's just an opportunity to see that our students see visible, right? We want to create that sense of belonging. And I really found this kind of hub of a way to celebrate our teachers, to celebrate our students, and they can be themselves. They're going to be just talking about what they believe in, right? It's a way to show respect and to have that interculturality, learning about from each other. This is happening thanks to Astrid Reese, Spanish teacher and Silva Literacy Coordinator, and Krista Peck, ELD Program Coordinator at San Luis Public Schools. And then, I say San Luis, I'm sorry, Liberty Public Schools. And we have the honor to have Astrid here with us. So Astrid, please feel free to share having your experience collaborating with the ELD coordinator by creating this program.
First of all, the Heritage program was created for the need. The two high schools needed a Heritage program, and the district approved it. So that's what the Heritage speakers are now, is a program. I had to create a curriculum for them. And one thing that the district didn't understood was that Heritage speakers were in different levels. So the first year, and even this year, I have 4 different levels in one classroom. So that is something that it is how the heritage speakers are. They are bilingual, but they are not biliterate. So that is how the program started. And then I started collaborating with the ELL coordinator that, and she was asking me, hey, listen, I have a student coming from Mexico, and I think your class will be great, so they will not feel really outside, their own country. So we start collaborating, and she was sending me the newcomers here. So they, yes, they knew Spanish, but they were new to this country. So this way it helped out. And then we also are both coordinators for the Seal of Biliteracy. And now we are working in ways to give more options to the heritage speakers for get more out of being biliterate and bilingual. So it is a swimming against the current. It is something that explaining teachers why is the need of having a heritage program. And if you don't have a heritage program, what can you do to help the heritage speakers? The key word here is belonging. These students need to belong somewhere. And that is something that these students have here in Liberty High School. Haydee, I don't know if you want me to share with them the heritage sashes that the students are going to be wearing.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
All right, so it's been 3 years in the process. My heritage speakers wanted to wear a sash that represent their country or something, in graduation day. The first one that they wanted to do is this one. So the school, one of the observations was that they were too colorful, that we needed to do something more, it's just like it was not the school tradition. So the two sisters that started this program, this process, they were told no. For several years, we have a court, but this year, one of the students who were speaking in that first video, she said, I asked her, can you please continue this? And they did the proposal to the principal, and instead of wearing that, we come up with this one right here. My heritage speakers are going to be wearing a heritage sash, one with their flag, and the other one is the United States flag, because they represent the countries. So this year, the school approved the wearing of the sashes, and they were really happy about it because they did it, no matter who started the work, they were finally opened the door for the heritage speakers, but our ELL students are going to do this too. So we joined forces with Krista Peck, and students don't want to be seen as an ELL learner. They don't want to be seen like that. So we just put everything under the umbrella of the heritage speakers, which is my class. So her students, her seniors, are going to be wearing flags from their countries, and Vietnam is one of them. There is one from China, and there is something that we will include that. And it was a lengthy process because the students didn't want that students will say, oh, I am a third of a Mexican, so I can wear that. So there is something that it really means to them, and everyone is going to wear their flag for the country that they have the heritage in their heart, the side of their heart, and the other one is gonna go in this side. And I will be leading them, and this is the first year that we walk, so lead by example. We live in Missouri, and I know that we can get some pushback because we're wearing something that is not the United States, but we have the United States on one side. So that is how we promote them. You need to encourage your students to be proud of who they are. Be proud of the heritage, because sadly they are ashamed of who they are until you tell them it is an honor having two flags with you. It's something like that. So that is what the big accomplishment that the program had with the students advocating, and that is very powerful. So that is what I have to share.
Thank you so much, Astrid, for sharing. I also have to say that Astrid is one of our past presidents in FLAM. So thank you so much for coming today and sharing your experience and building this program and all the things that you have to do. And what we love is the piece of, engaging the community by students, supporting their voices, which is so important, and creating that sense of belonging.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Moving to our next point in relation to the collaboration that we already are doing is the Missouri Seal of Biliteracy. So I don't know, in the group that we're here, several of you are already collaborating with your language, world languages teachers with the Seal of Biliteracy. So for that, I would like to introduce our FLAM past president, Tonya Tinsley. She works at the Missouri State University, and she's also in charge of the, I think, methods program or the student teacher program. So welcome, Tonya.
Thank you, Haydee. Thank you, Astrid. Nice to see you. Nice to see you all. Basically, I'm so happy to be able to talk to you today about the Seal of Biliteracy and what it can mean for your students as they move into the realm of higher education, because it can really give them, again, that sense of belonging and validation for the skills that they have. Astrid mentioned how many of them spend their childhoods translating for their parents, and we need bilingual, biliterate people in this country to make those connections and to help people communicate. So the way that we were very fortunate to work with, FLAM was very fortunate in the past to work with Ryan Rumpf. Chris Moorhead was the president of FLAM at that moment. And we were just so thrilled to get the Seal of Biliteracy program implemented and recognized through DESE. So thank you, Cammie. Thank you. It's such a valuable opportunity for the students, because they can show that they are bilingual and biliterate in English and their heritage language. Speaking from the perspective of a university instructor, I need candidates who are bilingual and biliterate to fill the teacher shortage in world languages in high schools, because they have to pass the demanding state certification test, which aims at an advanced low proficiency level. And the best candidates for that are heritage speakers. Haydee, do you want me to just give an introduction of what it is and how many credit hours and that sort of thing?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so the Seal of Biliteracy program, from the perspective of world languages, what it does is within the implementation guide, you'll find a chart that gives the recognized assessments that were identified and the performance levels that the students have to achieve. So there's two different types of seal. They can do the basic seal or the standard seal or the distinguished. And the distinguished seal actually has a higher level of performance than the standard seal. But there are opportunities for students to earn college credit based on the score that they receive on those assessments. So it isn't the seal itself on their transcript that allows the colleges to attribute the credit. It's the score that the students get on the identified assessment. So as an example, if they take the actual assessment, the APPLE, they have to score intermediate 3 on all of the different sections. So there's reading, listening, speaking, and writing, right, that they have to do. So if a student were to achieve a distinguished seal, so advanced on every single part of the assessment, they could at Missouri State earn up to 18 credit hours of college credit, and they don't have to take a class to actually have that credit applied to their transcript. They do have to come in to the admissions office with the score. And that the score report is really, really, really important. Not all universities essentially will attribute the credit without having the students take a course in their department. So it varies depending on the institution. But considering that a minor in a language is most often 18 to 21 credit hours, it can really help the students, right? Because at Missouri State, for example, they don't pay for those credit hours, but they are transcribed. So it really is a benefit. Now, with the younger students, there are some school districts in the state of Missouri. Lee's Summit, I think, is one that does the pathways for the elementary level students. And I'm a little less familiar with that, but I understand that it has certain types of like presentations and things that the students have to do. I think it's third grade. Is it third grade, fifth grade, and eighth grade?
Different districts can set where they want to award it. They just have to submit a proposal like for the high school. So we have like a lower elementary, mid elementary, some do middle school, some do at the end of junior high.
So I've had the opportunity as the coordinator for the teacher education program in world languages to work with students who were pursuing certification in French, Spanish, and TESOL at the same time. And I know that we are all in a really unique position to recognize the skills and the value of the knowledge that the students have learned and that they bring to us from their cultures and their parents and their grandparents. You know, we're just missing a huge opportunity if we don't recognize that from the very first. And I'm so happy that we're going to be able to figure out ways to work together to just recognize the whole child and support all of these students. So if you have any questions about the seal of biliteracy for juniors and seniors especially, I can put my email address in the chat and you can email me with the understanding that it might be a little different depending on the university that your students might go to. So
Thank you.
I'll go ahead and put this in the chat. Thank you. Thank you, Haydee.
Thank you so much, Tonya. And this is one of the things like with this type of collaboration, we're able to learn and know, as Tonya was mentioning about these different schools, this summit, you're having these pathways to biliteracy. And for example, my school district, we have an elementary program, which not a lot of public schools have one, but then it will be an opportunity for me to learn how we can encourage the teachers at the elementary level to see if they want to implement this type of award, which is going to benefit our students. The program is already benefiting our Spanish learners, but it would be great just to have that incentive there. Let me see. So now talking about the part of the community support, we know that it takes a village. We need to be together and support each other. So one of the ideas that I grasped, because I know that Cami was mentioning about language classes for parents, this is just ideas. I don't know in what school districts this may be happening, but this is something that we can discuss, share. If you know about any school that's doing that, please feel free to do so when we go to the breakout rooms. And I have heard also about passport nights, international festivals. I know that in my school, the passport nights are done in the elementary level. International festivals in the high school here. In my school, we do 1 week. And we have different celebrations, different activities, culinary samplers, a parade of nations, again, celebrating that heritage for students. We have a showcase, a student showcase. We have a short film festival. So these different activities are probably, you know, I'm mentioning them, but it's happening also in your schools in order to celebrate our students' heritage and background. Also, it's a great need that we start looking at early language learning programs, how we can start doing that. I know several schools here in Missouri have that program, they're benefiting from that, but what we can do in order to encourage other schools to have it. I know it could be, you know, like a dream, but if we work together, probably we can make it happen. Also, we're going to look a little bit on the Show Me by Literacy project. Probably you already know about it. I know Cami is part also of the team. And any other ideas for community involvement are welcome, which is one of the things we're going to do after this. So just very briefly, it's so important to advocate for early language learning programs and work with different, not only here, for example, in the state, but also with other states that have it, to see different models and opportunities that we can implement here in Missouri. I want to share with you this video. It's just a 1 minute kind of elevator pitch video created by Christopher Moorhead, a French teacher in Pipkin Middle School, Springfield Public Schools, and he's also the NET representative in Missouri. If you have questions or you are interested about early language learning, you are free to reach out to him. His phone, email is here. So again, this is a short video. Let me see. Everybody can see it. Okay.
Everyone agrees that language development
is an important part
of early childhood education.
Yet few consider how
multilingualism
benefits young learners for millions of children
throughout the U.S.
education is a monolingual institution.
The lack of an investment in learning another language
puts us at a competitive disadvantage
on the global stage. It's time to envision a multilingual future for kids.
One where we have access to high quality,
articulated word language instruction,
providing school children the opportunity to learn a new language. Fortify the skills necessary for us to be successful within and out the classroom. Invest in our future
by investing in early language learning.
Parce que la vie n'est pas de sous-titres.
Porque la vida no tiene subtítulos.
Because real life
doesn't have subtitles.
For more information, visit ELD.org.
So again, right, we go to the part of advocacy, what we can do in order to support our students. And the beauty is that when we hear that from them, right, they're interested in language education. They want to learn more. So what we can do in order to support them. So then talking a little bit about the Show Me My Multiliteracy project, this is something I learned this year. And as I shared with you, our FLAM past president-elect, he's one of the persons who is working with the project, Jeff Lugari. So it's just, again, to disseminate best practices to schools, teams, and develop educators' capacity. Again, we go back to the teacher pipeline, right? There is a shortage right now. What we can do to support our teachers, how we can support, again, English and also the languages spoken at home, which is so valuable, right? And as Astrid mentioned, sometimes our students doesn't know the value, the skills that they have, right? Because they have been encouraged to speak one language and then they kind of forget about their home language. And we don't want that. We want to celebrate that culture and that heritage. So just to mention that, probably you know about them, but we have they have the Show Me grant competition. And then in that one, we're talking about kind of a different projects that connect with community. Because I really like this because it's in a certain way, you have an opportunity to build on families' skills, right? So if you have any ideas about how to develop these type of projects and submit a grant, please share also, because we have been invited to participate with language teachers. And sometimes the task could be huge, or we could see, oh my God, this is so much, I cannot do it right now. But if we work in collaboration, we can support each other and see different examples and apply for them, because this is what we want. So, so the purpose is just to build on families' skills and fund of knowledge as a foundation for new learning, and to enable caregivers to assume agency under children's education. So I asked about it, and there is no deadline for these grants, and the link is there in the presentation. Again, this is information from Jeff Lugari. This is his email. And then also one of the things I really love is the ELL K-12 endorsement. And that's one of the things that we also want to share with our world language teachers, because they have the language right certification, and they can get a K-12 endorsement too, in order if they want to work in that field. So I really am very happy that they're offering that for in-service teachers in Missouri. And again, this is another opportunity to support the community and to create that teacher pipeline. And this is the information you are interested, Sarah Sandage, and also Missouri State University. So now we reach the moment where we're going to be working, collaborating together. And I'm going to be, let's see if this works, because sometimes, you know, things happen with technology. So please be patient with me. The purpose is that we are able to work in 3 breakout rooms. I think this is going to be assigned randomly, right? When I open the 3 breakout rooms. So the first room is going to be talking about supporting heritage speakers. The other room is going to be talking about promoting the syllable by literacy, any ideas, any takeaways, information that you may have. And room 3 is supporting communities. From the different things we have discussed, what are some ideas that you have, things that you have implemented in your school district will be valuable. And the purpose is that at the end is, what are your thoughts or recommendations for future collaboration between world language and English language development teachers on the topics that you discuss in your room. I know time is very valuable, and that's why the breakout rooms, we're going to be just talking, collaborating, brainstorming with each other for 10 minutes. And then after that, we will do a brief debrief. If you can assign a reporter from your group to share when we come back, that will be fantastic. So let's see how this is going to work. So I'm going to be assigning the breakout rooms. I'm putting here 3. And it's going to be automatically. So let's see how it goes. If you can take a picture also of this slide, that will help too. I will be sharing, also sending messages if you don't know the topic. Okay, let's see. Antonia and Graciela, I will assign you to room 2 and 3.
Will you put the link to the Jamboard in the chat?
Yes. Oh no, I haven't. I'm going to.
Okay.
Okay, we have room 1, 2, and 3. This is perfect. Look an amazing group. Okay, let me see. Should I put it? Okay, let me see if I can. Okay. Okay, so before you go, I'm going to put it here in the chat so everybody can open it.
I think Tracy put it up there already.
Oh, thank you. And let me see, Tracy, thank you. And I see that it's saying viewer. So I'm a little bit concerned that probably, can you edit it? Let me see, change editor. You should be able to edit it now. Just let me know if, can someone type something and see if they, because for me it's going to work. It's just for you. Okay. Yes, awesome, thank you. So then now we have the groups, and just click on the one, and I will be sending, if you don't remember your topic, I will put in there. So let me see, Graciela's in room 3. Where is Tonya? Okay, Tonya, I'm moving you to room 2. And 3, so.
Okay, when I clicked on 2, I couldn't get it to let me do anything, but it could be me.
Yes, I think we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so please remember to assign a person who is going to report to us, and then write your ideas in the Jamboard. Thank you. Let's see how it goes. You can join now. And why do I have 44 minutes? It's not 44 minutes. It's just 10 minutes. I will put it there. Okay. just having memories of my teaching in Zoom and how many times I close the Zoom meeting and kick everybody out. So thank you so much. I wonder how the conversations went. Let me see. I don't know if you delegate someone in your team, but we did it in room 1. So let's see how it goes. Let's see. I'm going to share our Jamboard. And then our reporter is Rob.
All right, I'm just gonna read the Jamboard thing. I encourage my group mates to chime in if they have extra things to share. So I know Daisy was talking about her district purchased some bilingual books for students, and some of them are sort of side-by-side text. So maybe one page is English and the next page is Spanish, and they're available for students in the classroom and also to kind of check out and take home. Another person in the group wants to encourage high schoolers to go for the Seal of Biliteracy. I think a couple of people said they have a few students trying to pursue that, but maybe not as many as they would like. I think Ms. Bates was saying something she wants to see is more kind of cross collaboration for content areas around cultural holidays, around maybe math measurements to support the content, it says. We talked about using A+ tutors or heritage speakers with newcomers to help with classroom activities. More things, making connections with heritage speakers, how to read and write in their first language. And then to collaborate with volunteers in our programs where they'll do kind of translation for family night. So I think that again was Ms. Bates saying often having those students to come help with translation with families.
Thank you, Rob. And again, I really appreciate the feedback that you provided, the group provided here in the Jamboard. And these are, this is just resources, ideas that are available for you. And again, with the collaboration that we're trying to do is just to know if you are doing that in your schools, please feel free to share with Cami, and then we create that connection and see how we can replicate those great projects that you're going to be doing. So thank you so much. Sorry?
That was my dog, I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you very much, group 1. Now we're moving to group 2. Who is our reporter?
I think that would be me. I promised everybody I would type it as they were talking. So the very first thing that we discussed was the need to start talking to the parents about this Seal of Biliteracy and the pathways from pre-K onwards, so that they encourage their students to maintain and develop the proficiency in the heritage language, and not to necessarily exclude it in favor of English. Right. And then we talked about some school events and how important it is to integrate the Seal of Biliteracy and the pathways and the heritage cultures and the languages into those types of events at schools. There was an example of an arts and culture night that's going to happen this spring. So, and then share between the EL and the World Language gifted students about the different pathways or the different assessments that they can use to earn the college credit. Mm-hmm. And marketing that more as a college scholarship, so that people understand the type of benefit that it brings. And then Cami brought up that they're going to share out that kind of an idea from a central person at DESE, so that, you know, the school counselors would know more what it's all about.
Great ideas. Thank you so much, Tonya, for sharing. And remember, you have questions also, you can put it in the chat, but this is wonderful. And then we have room 3. Wonderful. Who is the reporter?
That is me. So group 3, we talked about supporting communities. And so we talked about, I believe it was Jessica from Hazelwood, talked about how they've been able to translate such things as the enrollment process, being able to support those families coming in right at the beginning of enrollment, and also adding some events in there along with that, cultural events, literacy events. Such as Read Across America, Back to School Open House, graduation performances, and so on. Tracy from Cape Girardeau talked about being involved with One City, which is a nonprofit organization in the town that is supporting those new, families coming in who are new to the city, new to the area and the region, supporting them heritage-wise. So that's a great, and that has not been around for very long. So that's quite a new organization that we have locally. So, and I know, she has quite a population in Cape that has grown significantly in the past 3 to 4 years. Also, just common diversity and inclusion, in Southeast Missouri and St. Louis, we have Southeast Missouri gets a little spillover from St. Louis families, but mainly we have families coming in, working in the local industries, restaurants, and so on. So primarily Spanish speakers. And we also have a P&G plant here in Jackson. So we're getting now Arabic speakers. So yeah, we're getting a nice little cultural pocket in Southeast Missouri. So now we're wanting to really, get involved with getting more community and businesses involved with hosting and donating that kind of thing, donating the supplies and being able to hold events like this kind of thing. Guest speakers, she put diverse linguistic and cultural backgrounds, coming in, speaking with schools, inviting parents in to speak with classes, parents of some of our students. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. And then Tracy, was this year's the middle school hosted multicultural evening, or was that Hazelwood? Was that Jessica?
No, that was actually at Central Middle School here in Cape. They had
awesome.
That a week or two. I want to say it was maybe last week or maybe the week before. And they had over 200 people show up. They worked with me, they worked with the high school, they worked with the community, they worked with the university nearby, Southeast Missouri State, and they were able to get quite a few different people to come present about their culture. It was a hands-on thing. They had music, they had people dressed in different traditional clothing for their heritage. They had food that you could taste. It was really cool.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
That's a great idea. And that's one of the things that also FLAM is trying to support through the advocacy group, because in our last meeting, we also have input from Lee Summit. They did also a kind of multicultural event, and then she was sharing her resources. So if we are able to create kind of a hub with different resources, so it's easy for other teachers to implement it, because sometimes when we talk about an event, right, and inviting the community, we immediately think, oh my God, I cannot do this by myself. So having those resources at hand will be really, really helpful. And Cami, I will appreciate you can help me with that, I know you have some hubs, right, or resources that other teachers, ELD teachers have done in order to see how we can kind of put it together for access for world language teachers, ELD teachers too. And I'm sorry if I interrupt, Lana, were you able to finish? I'm sorry if I interrupted you.
You did not interrupt. Yes, I am finished, I think, unless anyone else from our group wants to add anything.
This looks wonderful, I have to say. Thank you so much for brainstorming, sharing ideas, and also looking for those world language teachers in your schools. It's just great just to, that we're able to get together and work with that. So this is the last, the input from the last group, which was room 3. Are there any questions? Oh, yes, Tracy, thank you, yes. Oh, Cami, yes, you did that in Neosho. Inviting business owners, yes. That's something that I would love to be able to do that. But I know it requires a lot of planning, but together we're better. Sorry for the cliche, but we're better together. Yes, it's a lot of work. So thank you so much for your input. I know we are reaching the hour. And I just want to share, this is a part of our debrief that we already did. And I want to share with you an invitation. We have created 2 focus groups in FLAM. One is called the Culturally and Linguistically Diverse Language Teaching Focus Group. And that is led by our president-elect, Jeff Lugari. And also we have the Advocacy Focus Group, which is led by Dr. Tonya Tinsley. I participate for both. I provide support, and also we grow, we learn. The registration form is here, but of course I can share with you guys in the chat. So it's a very short.
And I'll put it in our note taker as well.
Yeah, it's a very short form. If you are interested, you are welcome to participate. As you can see, it's just a few questions. And the idea is to start creating that connection and collaboration, and see how we can work together with different ideas. We are brainstorming great ideas from the group. And one of the things is to create a hub, and that happened in the advocacy focus group this last Saturday, to start creating that hub for events, having templates that, if a teacher needs a passport, the template is there, doesn't have to go anywhere, create anyone, it saves a lot of time. Also, we want to share with you our FLAM call for proposals. We're having our conference on Friday, October 7th, and Saturday, October 8th at Washington University. We're accepting for proposal for 20 minutes presentations and 50 minutes workshop. And we have these different areas. We have multiple languages represented, in presentations to reach a greater audience, including less commonly taught languages and English as a second language. So you are really invited to share best practices, ideas, that represent interculturality and increased understanding of culture, social justice, diversity and inclusion in language classrooms, standards. I know we're using the actual world languages standards, but any standards that you're using right now, and I know they overlap because we're teaching language, technology tools, learning, world languages, and ESL for special interest groups in the elementary, low income, rural schools, Department of One, special needs. And special, the situation with Departments of One, that sometimes they're just isolated, they're just by themselves, and it would be great just that they know that they can have assistance and help from the community, of teachers. I put the call for proposal also in the chat if you're interested. And I have to say thank you so much for your attention. And here are the links of the different associations that provide support for world languages. And we have the presentation in the Seal of Biliteracy that was done by Astrid Reese, she was here, and Dr. Tonya Tinsley in our past conference, 2021. and information about the Show Me project, Show Me Literacy, Multiliteracy project. And this is my contact information. And I have to say, thank you so much for joining us today. I don't know if you have any questions. And I can stop sharing my screen. Okay, let me see before I stop sharing. Oy, I'm just going to put my email in the chat. And thank you very much.
Thank you. It was great.
Thanks.
So I'm going to share my screen again real quick and share a few more things. If you have any questions for Haydee or any of our presenters, please feel free. Something that I found when talking about ACTFL. ACTFL is the American Council for Teaching of Foreign Languages, and they use what they call the 90-10 rule, so that they're making English more, using it appropriate, making it comprehensible, content is accessible, and there's interaction. So 90% of the time they say you need to use your target language, and then the other 10% you can use the home language to help support it, because learners need as much exposure as possible to the target language for acquisition to occur. So and the thing is, with that 90%, they have to be able to understand, or it's not 90%. So then I put some notes about first foreign language, or foreign language and second language, and how they're the same and different. There's a wonderful video link at the bottom here that you can go and watch on your own, that talks about how we can incorporate, how we can work with our foreign language teachers and use some ideas from each other, so we don't have to be siloed. It's a really great video. Then this, whoops, hang on a minute. This is some updates from, there we go, from WIDA. Access for EL score report resources are available. So there's one for communicating with families, one for communicating with your colleagues, and then you can find out some more about these reports, the post-reporting and interpreting the scores. They have a publication for that as well, and you can click on those and get those links. And then they're asking that you share your thoughts with WIDA about the speaking and writing rubrics. And there's a 5-minute survey, it says, that you can go to help them and give them some feedback so that they can make some adjustments as necessary. Oops. And then WIDA's Spanish language assessment survey is now live. So educators who serve Spanish language programs can now provide input in this Spanish language assessment survey. So I thought maybe our world language teachers might find that interesting. This survey is from April 15th through May the 13th, and you can get in a prize drawing for a $250 gift card if you respond. So if you are so inclined, you can participate in that. And then these are just some updates that I have gotten mostly from the National Council of Language Educator Association. One is the top five languages that are spoken in a report from 2019 to 2020 to give you an idea of the state of our country. There was a really nice infographic about CTE and multilingual learners that I thought was very good, so I shared that. OELA's National Bilingual Multilingual Learners Advocacy Month Toolkit. There's a link to that, since this is still Advocacy Month for multilingual learners. Then there's a report there for NAEP data on, as it has to do with English language learners. A link to Common Core of Data was just very interesting, gives you data on all of the states in pretty much any school you want to look up in the United States. And then there are a couple of things on newcomers and refugees and migrants there. This one's Newcomers and Life Through Graduation. It was a really good webinar. First Steps to Welcoming Newcomers from Saddleback. And then there was an article on students with disabilities who are English language learners. And from California, a multilingual learner toolkit that they shared this month. And then the last thing on the page there is Operation Allies Welcome from the federal government addressing Afghan refugees. And then we have some professional development that's upcoming. So we have our counselors. As I said earlier, I've been talking to them quite a bit about how we can help each other. And one thing that they wanted me to share was they have these social emotional support series that they have going on that are both for students and for teachers working on mental health. So the top link takes you to a webinar. The next one I think is next week, maybe. But it gives you a list of all the dates and how you can sign up on these two links. The second link is for educators and adults and gives you links of things that you can do to support your own mental health. Our next check-in will be to review our data and talk about using data for the coming year, like we do every year about this time. And then June 8th and 9th, we have the Elevate Conference coming up with Rob. Then June 13th and 20th are the dates for the next WIDA Nurturing Speaking Growth e-learning opportunity. And you can sign up for that on the DESE calendar. It's listed on June 13th and you need to enroll by 5/31. And then our ELD Summer Academy will be July 11th and 12th. And our Summer Literacy Summit that I talked about last month, the date's been set for that. It will be July 13th and 14th. So it's only going to be 2 days, which kind of limits us a little bit. It's going to be at Stony Creek in Columbia, and the focus is going to be literacy, but we're also inviting FLAM to come and speak. And our ELD male representatives are also going to do a presentation. And then we have August 30th and 31st, a secondary grades and writing workshop through WIDA that is excellent. They did an elementary one for us, and it was probably the best WIDA workshop that I've ever gone to. So I encourage you to sign up for that if you work with writing in any form, which we all do. So everybody should sign up. And then I have a question for you on the note taker. If you would, list for me some topics that you might be interested in addressing next year. So we'll go back over we'll kind of revisit our new WIDA standards and talk a little bit more about that. But what other things would you like to have us discuss, or speakers would you like to have come in? We could bring Haydee and her group back again next year to have some more further conversation and delve into this further, but give me some ideas for next year, because I plan to continue this every month again next year. As always, you can contact our male representatives, and their email addresses are all listed and gives you an idea who to contact, who your regional person is. And then I'm going to just let you have any questions you have here in a minute. I'm going to copy this evaluation link for you. If you will please fill that out. It's also on the note taker. And Rob, thank you for putting the elevation information in the chat as well. So if you have any questions, please feel free to unmute and ask anything. And you can contact me anytime with any questions you have about the syllabi literacy, or how to contact Haydee if you forget how, but just let me know.
Amy, I have a question about the ELD meeting for like the new ELD teachers, the one in July.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that on the calendar yet to sign up for?
I believe I did put it on the calendar the other day.
Okay.
So
Is
it
that,
should be there.
so that's where they should go to sign up?
Yes.
Okay.
Put it on the calendar. I will also put it in the Edmodo. So that the link will be there if you would like to find it there and share it.
Okay. And that will be in Jeff City?
The newcomer, the new teacher academy is going to be virtual. So they can do it from anywhere. Yes.
Okay. All right, great.
The one in the next 2 days, the literacy summit, it's going to be in Columbia and it will be in person.
Okay. And that's for anyone,
It's
right?
for all educators, even ELD teachers. We'll have something for everyone, how we can all incorporate literacy into what we do.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, any other questions before we call it a day? I'm going to stop sharing the screen so we can see each other. There we go.
Usually, I don't know, but I love to take pictures of the group. I don't know if that's something that everybody's agrees. I know Tonya and Graciela, you know me. We need to have a group picture. I know other, people have to leave, but I would love to have a memory of this. So is that okay?
No
Yes?
complaints.
Okay, I will tell you when we're going to get that cheese.
Going to be cheesy.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you again for being here and sharing with us today. And thank you everyone for coming. One more meeting for this year. So we'll see you in May.
Will you be sharing your presentation as well, Haydee? Or what?
I have it on the note taker already.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank
Thanks,
you, everyone.
Tammy.
Have a
Haydee,
wonderful
bye.
evening. Thank you. Nice
Bye,
meeting you.
everybody. Thank you.
Nice meeting you. Thanks. Thank you, Cami, for inviting
Thank
me.
you. It was great. You did a wonderful job.
Thank you. I'm hoping that with the information we got, or, we'll create a list and then you can put it also in your resources. We can put it in our resources.
Sounds
and
great.
then have that collaboration.